Welcome to commandment number 6 of the 10 Commandments series. Commandment number 6 is Lo tirtzach, thou shalt not commit murder. I'm supposed to put up a video about 5 minutes each, as mentioned in the preamble, for each of the 10 Commandments. So far what we've had in the 10 Commandments is 1. Freedom. Worship your life, your freedom given to you by God, and do not enslave yourself to anything else, even to any other concept that you would consider God. 2. Don't even try to represent God with anything, no matter how golden, no matter how beautiful, no matter how impressive a thing that is in the oceans, that is on the earth, that is in the heavens. Nothing. Make no graven images for worship. 3. Even the name of God, Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, YHWH, unpronounceable, doesn't mean anything. Yehovah, the name of God, don't worship that either. Don't make it light. It's just the best we can do because you guys unfortunately need that because you're human, so you have to relate to God and somehow, even though of course God's incommunicable, it's not something really that you can communicate to somebody else what this God thing is, what this absolute truth and absolute goodness is, and therefore fine, it's Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, and if you need to say it, take it very seriously. 4. Remember we talked about freedom? At least one day a week. At least one day a week. Everywhere. Everyone has complete freedom. There is no work done. No work done for the future. No worries about the past. 5. How does this all get transmitted? Through your parents. Honor your father and your mother. 6. Do not murder. What does it mean, do not murder? The long video is nearly 2 hours, called I Am a Murderer and So Are You. Uploaded yesterday because I care a lot about this subject. And in my opinion, I am a murderer and so are you. One thing I can say for myself is that at least for a few years of my life, I tried very, very hard not to be a murderer. I tried very, very hard not to be a murderer. I don't know if I can say that for very many people or any other people, but I know that I tried and it did not work out. I did save a few lives. I really did. I legitimately did. I legitimately 100% did. And that's nice. But in a world where I'm the only one taking responsibility for everybody, I end up dead. Really. Really and truly. Someone asked why it is that I'm asking you to please become a subscriber. Well, first of all, we do need as many people involved as possible, and if people are subscribing, it means they're involved. And second of all, because I die otherwise. I have no other way to make a living. Legit. I've tried. I'm nearly 48. Whatever you can think of, why not this, why not that, da-da-da-da. Now, if you might say it's not my responsibility, agreed, it ain't your responsibility, except according to the Torah, it kind of is. But I ain't asking for anything. I don't want pity. Let me die. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, let me die. And I mean that literally, like I'm really literally have no place to live in a couple days. Very literally. Fine. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, let me die. If you do, let's get together on this. And the first kind of sign of commitment is $36. The reason 36 is the number is because for Jews, that's an important number. Just, it doesn't really mean anything in a very serious sense, but 36 is 2 times chai. Basically, every letter in Hebrew has a numerical equivalent. The word for life, which is what we worship as Jews, living as good as we can, as real as we can, this gift that we were given by God with creation, comes out to the number 18. 2 times that is 36. I can make the subscription lower. I can make it higher. I don't know. I really need your help to make this happen. If you have any way, any knowledge of how social media works, please help me with this. I don't know how to do it. 36 seemed like a reasonable number. Do not murder. What does the Torah say? A few chapters later, how does the Torah explain what is considered murder? What's considered blood that has been spilled, that needs to be expiated? What is the guilt? Because the understanding in Judaism is that there is a guilt that Judaism is talking about where you're all living in the land of Israel. Or at least you have a country of your own, which we do today. And therefore it's a major problem, but it applies to the whole world. And especially if you know the Bible, Jew, not Jew, doesn't matter. If you care about this, if you care about religion, if you care about yourself and your fellow person, this definitely applies to you. Let's hear what the Torah has to say about it. This is the beginning of chapter 21 in Deuteronomy. Ki yimatzeh cholol, if a hollow is found, a profaned one is found. What does that mean? It means a body. A body, a corpse. Man, woman, Chinaman, Amalekite, doesn't matter. Nobody cares. A corpse, a hollow, a profaned one that was once holy, one that was once in the image of God, living and walking as a god, as described in Genesis. Now it's just a hollow. If a hollow is found, ba'adoma asher Yehovah Elohecha nosen lecha, l'rishta, in the land that Yehovah your God has given you to inherit. Nofel basada lo noda mihi kahu. We don't know how he died. It's fallen in the field. He, she, whatever. We don't know how the body died. You can find, if you find bones, it works too. You don't know how the person died, but recent death. So, v'yotzu ziknecha v'shovtecha. So your elders who set policy, and the judges, who are usually appointed by the elders, they all go out from all the surrounding areas. Umaddu el ha'arim asher svivos hacholol, and they go and they measure. They make a big to-do, and they measure from the corpse, from the bones. Everybody's coming out there, and they all have to measure to all the cities all around. Everybody will know about this for all time, to see which city is closest. And the city that is closest to the hollow. Or we should say corpse, because that's the word in English. Although hollow, or profaned one, there's depth in there in the Hebrew. So then the elders of that particular city take a young female calf. It never had work done with it. It was never even broken in. It never had a collar. It was a pet. It was raised with your kids. It was cute, and you loved it. V'horidu ziknei ha'ir ha'hi ha'golel nachal eson. And the elders of that city have to take it down. Take that little pet, that adorable little pet, down to a permanent valley. Not a wash, but a ravine. A permanent valley. Something that won't go away. Asher lo yavod ba. Yaved ba. A valley that was never worked. In other words, it's not a field. Nobody's ever worried there. Nobody's ever worked there. Nobody's ever toiled there. It's where you go for contemplation. V'lo yizorea. And it was never seeded. V'orfu shamas ha'egla benachal. And there, with a hatchet, you break the neck. Not a kosher slaughter at all. Not a painless slaughter at all. Not a slaughter that cares about the life of this thing. No, cruelty. Cruelty. The elders have to engage in public, unimaginable, disgusting cruelty, murdering this beloved little animal in this beloved area. An area that will be forever and will now be known by your name. V'nikshu ha'kohanim b'nei Levi. And then the Cohens, the sons of Levi, they come close. Kivam bachar Yehovah Elohecha l'sharso, because they are the ones who Yehovah your God chose to serve him. The Cohens were not given a specific place in the land of Israel. Their whole job is to serve God. And if they're not doing it right, that's a big problem. But they have to come down because they are ultimately responsible. Whatever the elders of a city or the judges of a city, however they decide, ultimately the Cohens, the sons of Levi, they are the spiritual leaders of the Jews. Just like the Jews are supposed to be the spiritual leaders of the world, they are supposed to be the spiritual leaders of the Jews, and they bear ultimate responsibility. And they are supposed to bless the Jews in the name of Yehovah. And upon their mouth is eventually, ultimately decided every argument and every wound or every touch. It's their responsibility, whatever takes place between human beings. The whole Ziknei Yirahi, and all the elders, no exceptions, of that city, Akrov Melachal, that's most close to the Chalal, and therefore has the responsibility. It has the responsibility. This is a way of saying, you have a responsibility until the next civilized area. Ultimately, today, we are all connected in the world. Back then, they were not. This is thousands of years old. So, but everyone who is up until the point where it's closer to the next city, where it's their responsibility, whatever someone dies from tripping, from hunger, from disease, from an animal, it's your responsibility. Everyone in that city, it's their responsibility. So all the people, the elders of that city that's closest to the hollow, to the corpse, Yerachatzu es yadeim, they wash their hands al ha'egla, on that calf, ha'arufa, that has its neck broken, v'nachal, in the ravine. V'onu v'amru, and they answer and they say. In other words, they have to say, quote, this precise thing after the Cohens. They have to say these precise words. As they're washing their hands of blood, dripping in blood, it's in a valley. The blood can only spurt upwards. Everyone sees this. Henceforth, there is a shame that these people will never be able to live down. These elders, these judges will never, ever, ever be able to live down through all of human history. The fact that somebody died in their vicinity, outside the city, in their vicinity. That's how it's supposed to be. Nobody dies of anything preventable in ancient Judaism, in ideal Judaism, in Torah Judaism. They have to say, Yodeinu lo shofchas hadam hazeh. Our hands have not spilled this blood. It's not easy to say that. Their hands are covered in blood. Ve'einenu lo ra'u. And our eyes did not see. We did our best. Trust me. Unless they really, really, really did their best, and this was a meteorite killed somebody, they can't say this with a straight face. They will never be able to live this down. Kaper la'amcha Yisrael, this is all part of the quote they have to say. Unguilt your nation Israel, Asher pidisa Yehovah, that you Yehovah have redeemed, and therefore worthy of being redeemed. Va'al titein dam noki b'kerav amcha Yisrael, and do not place clean blood, innocent blood, among your people Israel. Because once the blood starts flowing, the blood does not stop flowing. As the prophet says, the prophet calls us the people of Sodom and Gomorrah in Israel. He calls us murderers. You think everybody was engaged in murder? No. But the fact that they let people die, the fact that they were involved in themselves and let people die, the fact that they engaged in whatever their form of capitalism happened to have been, wasn't good enough to keep everyone alive, to keep everyone well. Murderers. V'nikaper lahem hadam. Let us unguilt for them this blood with our eternal shame, with what we're doing right here, with the fact that everyone sees that we have failed. Everyone sees that we have failed. And then the Torah says, Va'ata, and you, Tivair hadam noki, mikir b'cha. That is how you will cleanse, you will remove, you will expiate this innocent blood from among you, Ki sa'aseh hayosher be'enei Yehovah, because you have done that which is right in the name of Yehovah. In other words, forgiveness, repentance is an essential thing in Judaism, not so much in the world today. They can't, you can get put in jail for murder at the age of 17 and die in jail 70 years later, as if you're the same guy, as if you're still the same guilty, no matter what kind of great person you might become. That's our system today. Murder. Murder. The Torah says, you know what? If you found this, if it happened, not like today. Today you find, in Israel too, you find a corpse. The question is it foul play or not? Foul play. And if it's foul play, who do we punish? Who do we hate? Us. All of us. That's who. Now I'll show you a short video, because I created an organization called Lo Tirtzach. I created an organization in Israel, among the few that I created when I lived there. During this time period when I did take responsibility for everybody. Lo Tirtzach, thou shalt not murder. And I'll show you somebody who had the exact same logic. The reason was that I was almost killed by a bus bomb. And it got me really, oh my God, it's so sad, it's so terrible. I tore my clothes, I prayed, I did everything that I could do to try to stop it. I got involved in politics, I sat down in the middle of the road, etc., etc. I did everything that a person could do. I almost got myself killed spitting at Shimon Peres. May his name be not remembered for blessing. And eventually, after a while, I realized that, it isn't that I necessarily love everybody. If I really loved everybody, it wouldn't matter how they were killed. It's just that it's human to hate on your human enemies. But if it's someone's own fault that they died, like in a car accident, who cares? Who cares? So my organization, Lo Tirtzach, Do Not Murder, was to try to prevent as many car accidents in Israel as possible, because more people were being killed in Israel by car accidents than by all the terror attacks and all the wars put together. It's the least sexy of the ways you can save people's lives. Car accidents. Nobody cares. It's usually the fault of the guy himself or the woman himself that are driving. Usually. Lo tirtzach, thou shalt not murder. Check out this video from shortly after October 7th. Trigger warning, it's in Hebrew. I'll translate.
נהרגו, אבל נהרגו כמיהודים, ולא, וכן, ומה היחס? אל תתייחס. לא, זאת, לקדוש ברוך הוא נתייחס. לא עסק שלנו.
So this is shortly after October 7th. The massacre by the people of Gaza. It wasn't just Hamas, it was the people of Gaza they let in. Usually the garbage people, but a lot of people of Gaza, they came in. The actual Hamas people were not allowed to do the rapes and stuff because that was against the law. They're not allowed to kill children. That's against Islamic law. But part of Islamic law is that you can use garbage people to do all that for you. So that was what they did. They bust in, they're drug addicts, they're murderers. Go hog wild. Enjoy yourself on the Jews. So it really was the people of Gaza that did that in any case. But my point is that the ultra-Orthodox Jews, the people who dress like this, in their yeshivas, where they don't go to the army, they're not involved in general society. So this rabbi was saying, stop caring, guys. You have a job to do. Your job is to study Talmud. Your job is to study Talmud, to follow the Jewish rules as we understand them, etc., etc. That's your thing. These people were desecrating the Sabbath. They were almost idolaters. They were engaging in adultery. the people who were killed at the festival. They were the leftists themselves. They were having a peace festival to show the people of Gaza, we want you partying with us. They brought it on themselves. What's our problem? So someone said to him, and this is part of a very, very long video. I only saw these 2 minutes, so that's the only part that I'm showing. So someone says, hey, they were killed because they were Jews. So he said, all right, they were killed because they were Jews. Whatever, come on. You know that's nonsense, right? It's not our problem. They were out there doing sin. We're not involved in that kind of world. That's not our world. Don't get involved in this. Stay steadfast. Continue to do the good works that you're doing. Don't pretend that you care about them, because you don't care about them. You're just looking for a distraction.
הם? ככה. אתה מרגיש ככה כשמישהו נהרג בתאונת דרכים שאח שלך נהרג? לא. למה פה פתאום כן? כולם אחים שלנו. כל מודעה שמופיעה על כל אחד שמת בכל רחבי הארץ זה אחים שלנו. אחד שמת סתם. מת מזיקנה, מת במחלה, מת בתאונת דרכים, מת לא יודע מה, בלי קשר לערבים. זה אותם אחים. משם אף אחד לא זוכר שזה אחים, ואף אחד לא שזה אחים. אז בוא במייסס.
So a student says, hey, there are brothers. You know, you might say religion, blah, 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 but there are brothers and sisters who were killed. So he says, oh, yeah, brothers and sisters, huh? That's good, that's good. You know that like everyone who dies, every time you see on the wall, because that's how they do it in Israel, they put them on the wall when someone dies. They put up the name and they say the funeral and where the people are going to be mourning, that you can go visit them. Every single person you see on the wall, they're the same equal brothers and sisters as these people who were killed down there. Same kind of brothers and sisters. They might have died of old age. They might have died of illness. They might have died from car accidents. Every single person who's dying over there is the equal brother of us. Do you care? Does anybody care? Nobody cares. So don't go tell me these people killed at the Nova Festival that there are brothers and sisters and therefore we care. Nonsense. Baba Mises is what he says. Nonsense.
זה לא אחים משום דבר, סתם דמיינס. מה? מתהפך אוטובוס זה מעניין את כולם כי זה אטרקציה. אם היה מתהפך אוטובוס כל יום זה לא היה מעניין יותר. אתה שואל, מה באמת בן אדם צריך להרגיש כשהוא שומע שיש תאונת דרכים? אין סיבה שבן אדם צריך להרגיש יותר רע כשהתהפך אוטובוס מאשר כשהיה רוכב אופנוע נהרג בתאונת דרכים. מה נפקא מינה אחד נהרג או 50? בסדר, אז אפשר שיותר מתרגשים מזה, אבל זה לא דבר אמיתי. אבל אין בזה שום דבר אמיתי. אין בזה שום דבר אמיתי. אותו דבר זה וזה.
So someone says, from the background there, someone says, you know, but when a bus overturns, we do care. When a bus overturns, Israel's a small country, a bus overturns, 50 people get killed, we do care. We really care. We pray, we study, we try to help, we do care. He says, you care because it's interesting. If it happened every day, you wouldn't care. You care because it's something new. It's something exciting. It helps you distract yourself from what you should be doing, which is what he thinks that you should be doing, studying and doing the Torah according to their understanding of it. That's it. Because it's interesting, not because you really care.
מה? לא שומע. אתה מדבר על האכזוריה של הישמעאלים? או מה שקרה להם? אנשים נהרגים בתאונת דרכים, הם נראים אחרי התאונה בדיוק כמו שהם נראים אלה שנהרגו שם. אותה אכזוריה. רק פה הגלגלים עשו את זה, ופה עשה את זה ערבי.
Then someone says, how about the cruelty with which they were murdered? The cruelty. Someone dies of old age, someone dies of whatever. Okay, so they died, whatever. This is cruelty. We should have broken hearts over this. They suffered. So he says, wait, the cruelty of the Ishmaelites? Is that your concern? Because if your concern is for your supposed brothers and sisters, somebody who's in a car accident ends up looking just as cruelly done by as somebody who was killed by these Arabs over here from Gaza. Same thing.
אז מה שלך אכפת זה לא האחים, כי זה הערבי שעשה נגדך. לא האחים ולא שום דבר לא.
He says what bothers you is not the cruelty, it's not the brothers, none of that nonsense. It bothers you that an Arab wanted to do it to you. That's what bothers you. That it was an attack on you. That's what bothers you. You don't care. Don't pretend you care. Of course, he got in major trouble for it, and that's why this video went around, and I only saw those 2 minutes, and that's it. Now, I myself did create that organization, Lo Tirtzach. I do believe that anybody in our society who could be doing better, who could be kept alive, who could be kept well, who could be kept happy, and isn't, all of us are responsible. There is innocent blood all around our feet, all around our homes. It's on us and does not wash off. Lo tirtzach, do not murder.